Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is the final video, number 3 in the series of my purple journal collections. The two that I'm going to be sharing with you today are Wisteria and Lavender. And as I mentioned previously in the first video, they are all pre-sold. They have been spoken for. But if something changes and you would like to be you're interested and you would like more information, then by all means, please send me an email and I will add you to the list. My email is vintageeleganceinspiration@gmail.com, and it's Karen here, and I would love to hear from you. These two are using the Dupioni silk cover. They have a lighter colored purple lace band that wraps around the cover front and back. That's part of the reason why I chose to do the videos 2, 2, and 2, because I created two that were very similar with this lace. And then the other two previously had the Dupioni silk, but the dark purple lace. And then the first two that I shared were the velvet, dark purple velvet covers with the dark purple lace. So they are all different. Each one is very different. And I do really like their names. I'm glad I came up with that just to be able to distinguish between them, because 6 is a lot to keep track of. A lot of ephemera pieces, a lot of hours, a lot of time, a lot of techniques have gone into it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I planned this series for a long time. I could hardly wait to use the digitals by Lorna Taylor, the 1871 Victorian ladies. From Godet's Fashions. I just absolutely love that era. I just think they're just so beautiful, so vibrant and so colorful. And I hope I reflected them and did them justice. So we have our vintage bead trim. I do have some left, so you might be seeing it again. I'm just going to pull my basket here. This is what I work with, is just baskets full of treasures. Of course, I'm trying to find my beads. There we go. If you can believe it, I scored this trim. Look at this. I've still got all this left, plus what I've used, and it was $3 for everything. So just keep looking around. You'll find something beautiful, and then I just tuck it away. I sort things by projects or color themes, and then when I feel that I've got enough to create the project or ideas that I have in mind, that's when I pull everything out and it becomes a vision to life. So we have our beautiful Chantilly Galloon eyelet lace again. It's just so very lovely. I'm very, very pleased with it. I know I said that in the last video. I've got the colored eyelets, the bling pieces on these very, very tiny tags made out of Edith Holden paper. I've got the tag toppers out of Sheila's beautiful embellished silk chiffon with little pieces of rhinestone or whatever in them. And my Anna Griffin papers that I use, the tag toppers, gorgeous handmade stick pins by Sheila that she made for me. And we've got our vintage buttons on the spines. How beautiful is that? So let's look at Lavender. We will open her up and go inside. Lavender has approximately 92 page sides. That includes flaps and all the little flip out pages. This one, this cover, has this beautiful Allen Con lace that I have adhered from one side to the other. So both of the pockets inside the journal are lace. As you can see, it's absolutely beautiful. It's kind of like a grayish mauvey purpley. It was, again, perfect color scheme. I have used the Stamperia Lilac Collection paper. I used almost a whole paper pack, which is only 10 pages, so it doesn't really take very much. In the stack here, I can see I've already undone this. Sorry about that, but we'll take that aside here. And I've got a lace-covered little tiny booklet with these extra papers. Stenciling, I've included a page of the avocado dyed, tea dyed, metallic rose gold splattered paper that I got. It's just so absolutely beautiful. I recently bought their coffee dyed paper that has the metallic splatters on it as well. Gorgeous stuff. I think that's from Junk Sisters Journals or something like that. These girls from Etsy, I really like their products. So that goes in this pocket on the left, and then we have our journal pages. All the digital kits I will have listed below in the description box. Got some beautiful ruffled vintage lace and applique, some stenciling, another applique. I said crocheted in one of the videos, but this is really just an applique, but it is vintage lace. It's beautiful. Some vintage French grammar book page, and one of Susie's beautiful appliques with pearls. How beautiful is that? Got some extra page here in the Bella collection by ThePaperCameo for extra journaling space. And we've got this vintage sheet music, gorgeous images. So I've used the Bella 2, and the antique ledger papers from ThePaperCameo in this particular journal series. Vintage wallpaper here with the antique sand paste in the color called Opera Mauve. Just so very beautiful, using a Tim Holtz stencil, of course. And the vintage sheet music. Gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful silk tag topper into this little tuck spot. We've got another journaling card here, or a tag made out of Edith Holden book page, some vintage buttons tied onto crinkled seam binding, backed onto the Stamperia lilac paper. And some extra writing space. As I said in the first video of this series, my journals are meant for writing. There is a lot of real estate for writing. Lots of notes on all the journaling cards and pieces, extra pieces, as well as the pages themselves, if that's what you choose to do. So I do leave a lot of blank spaces for that purpose. This gorgeous tag is made from Edith Holden book page. I use some vintage lace. It's right here with the insert space, so I threaded some lace seam binding through there, Sheila's silk chiffon tag topper, and some of the Fussy cut flowers by Odulcina Anne and Angela Kerr. I've got several of them, excuse me, that I just love using. I don't like fussy cutting. It's too hard on my hands. When we started using die cuts and dies, I thought, oh, my fussy cutting days are over, thank the Lord. But they've come back with junk journaling, and I enjoy it. It is therapeutic, and I have really good scissors that I like to use, but it causes my hands some pain. So that's my crybaby session for the day. A sweet little half a flap here with the hibiscus or hydrangea paper. This is a die cut from a die lace edge pocket. Some stenciling, got a sweet little heart that I've just stamped on. Some of this beautiful fiber trim, vintage cotton fabric that I've ruffled on the side, some purple metallic paper that I've run through the embossing folder, Tim Holtz ephemera piece, a little booklet of the Victorian ladies, and this page on the right features some beautiful antique French lace. Gorgeous digitals. This is one of my travel books, vintage travel books. This particular page is Belgium. This is Bible page from Ezekiel. these lovely Victorian ladies digitals. And on this side, I've got a pocket made from the French Lavender kit by Lorna Taylor. Some beautiful vintage lace that I've threaded dark purple crinkled seam binding through. An envelope from the Bella collection, and just a little postcard size note card from the Victorian ladies collection. A little piece of ephemera that I've just made into a tuck spot, a sweet little bird there, and some vintage sheet music. This is a veiled lace page. I love these. I use them as pockets. Here's one of these journaling cards that I've made from a planner index card that I just cut in half. Add the French book page to, one of the images from the digital kits, and some sweet rosette trim, vintage rosette trim, and some crinkled seam binding. Stamping on this side, here we've got a tuck spot with a little image from the Victorian ladies. And this page features a torn paper pocket, one of the envelopes from the French Lavender kit, and I have stamped it with one of Lorna's stamps in gold embossing powder. This one says Versailles. And on the right side of the page, I've got a journaling card or a tag, and layered it with French book page, mulberry paper, and vintage stationery with some beautiful thistles. I love this orchid colored lace on the page edge here. And here's the center of our signature. We've got these beautiful beads, same as all the rest of the journals. I did them all the same, almost all exactly the same. This is a little side tuck made with some striped Anna Griffin paper and some very thin vintage purple lace trim that I love. A decoupaged large tag here from some paper napkin that had butterflies on them, and I added these fussy cut paper dolls from the Victorian ladies collection that are just so sweet. Some more vintage lace and crinkled seam binding as the tag topper. Some French grammar book page, and beautiful colored digitals on this side. A little tiny tuck spot with some fussy cut flower lilacs and a Tim Holtz tag. And I just used a lot of the ephemera as tuck spots rather than make tags. I tend to make larger tags, medium to large. I don't make very many small ones. Some beautiful stamping on this side of the page, and another veiled lace page with a journaling card. Beautiful image from the Bella kit. This side of the page, we've got our lavender decoupaged tag, very large tag with the dark purple seam binding at the top on mixed media paper. And this vintage lace that I have tea dyed and run some marine blue or navy blue crinkled seam binding through, backed onto this vintage sheet music paper. This is a pocket that I've created with the insert lace. I used the dark purple seam binding. This beautiful tag made out of vintage wallpaper, the antique sand paste in the opera mauve, and Sheila's gorgeous silk chiffon topper. Absolutely beautiful. Love it. Backed onto parchment paper, so there's lots of room for writing on these. And a little piece of ephemera from Tim Holtz collection. And turn the page. Beautiful image on the left. Some Bible book page. Some of the travel paper, the back side to it. A little coin envelope. Beautiful gathered lilac colored lace. Little tuck spot here with this Victorian lady. Some stamping. the antique French lace. And this page is a flip out, room for journaling. I've got a extra journaling card made with some Anna Griffin paper, of course, backed onto a purple file folder, dark purple. Some of Sheila's beautiful sari silk chiffon textile, and some of her beautiful rose gold bling beads, beaded trim. Some dangly applique lace in purple, some stenciling, a sweet little crocheted doily with some of Susie's custom dyed purple applique in the shape of a rose. How sweet is that? A little half a flat page here out of the hydrangea paper. A small tag with the flower fairies on it. And this is a folder made from the French lavender paper that I've just straddled over this page for extra journaling space. Tea-dyed tracing paper, lined journaling paper, one of the little booklets from our Victorian ladies, and some beautiful digitals, another journaling card or a tag. I love the images of the birds. They're just so sweet. This is from Edith Holden, of course. Some vintage buttons tied onto the crinkled seam binding and backed onto the Stamperia lilac paper. And this lovely navy lace at the top of the page. It's a little tuck spot. Here is our periwinkle blue lace, a large piece, and beautiful digitals, the vintage sheet music, a little tuck spot. That's one of the pieces of ephemera from the Bella collection, a Tim Holtz journaling card, French grammar book page, a little tuck spot here. It says Eau de Lavender, and a tall tag in this beautiful embroidered handkerchief with a beautiful purple scalloped edge. This is the Anna Griffin paper, white vintage lace, and the tag topper that is die cut using a die set from Heartfelt Creations. And to tuck these in sometimes, I just use my bone folder so that the corners don't get flapped up and make a little crease, if you know what I mean. It's just one of my little tips. The page on the right has a pocket, some ruffled vintage lace, vintage applique, fussy cut bluebells, flowers, and a little tiny tag from the Stamperia paper collection. And on this side, we've got our last page. I've got a small tag with a flower girl on it, extra journaling space, my logo, Vintage Elegance Inspiration, and this beautiful image of Godey's Fashions. You can see the lace that carries through from the front cover. It makes a beautiful pocket. And here is a vintage postcard that I will write a note in to the recipient who chooses this journal. And then our back page, our back belly band, of course, has our paper dolls, these girls, and a tall booklet with some beads. Just extra papers and extra room for writing. So that is Lavender. And now we've got Wisteria, the last one. She has the Dupioni silk cover, of course, in the same closure lace. We looked at the front and the back, and this one does not currently have a pocket in the front, so that's an option for whoever chooses it. And I've got a bulldog clip, just holding in a bundle of papers in the front, which is a lace covered journal, tiny little journal booklet, really, a booklet of the Victorian ladies, one of our small envelopes with the stationery set, and some beautiful metallic embroidery threads with these lovely beads. So this is the inside cover. As you can see, it's quite plain, but I can certainly add lace to it if that's your choice, or you can use the clip and just continue to clip this on like so. Up to you, you just let me know. So here we go. We've got our Bella digitals here with a envelope and one of the Victorian fashion ladies fashion plates. A journaling card or a tag made with the mulberry paper and the French book page. This beautiful lace trim on the pocket here with the purple, dark purple crinkled seam binding. Extra space for journaling. A full sheet of paper. You can cut it down or use it as is. I do love the bird on it. Beautiful digital image on this side with one of these journaling tags and some beautiful vintage beads tied onto the crinkled seam binding, backed onto the Stamperia lilac paper. A half sheet of the hydrangea paper with some stamping on here. Beautiful lace. A little tuck spot here with some vintage ephemera. Vintage fabric that I've done a ruffle with and sewed it onto the side. And I've got a journaling card here and a small booklet in this one. So you can see I used a lot of the image, different sizes of this particular kit, digital kit from Lorna at TaylorMadeJournals. Beautiful Battenberg lace, tea-dyed doily with a vintage applique that I've attached to the top of this page. Some stenciling, our lovely ladies, some stamping, this beautiful applique, little tuck spot here with the Stamperia small tag, French grammar book page. Here is one of our veiled lace pages and one of these tags that I've made. I made 12 altogether, 2 for each journal. And this lace just wraps right around to the other side of the page. Tea-dyed tracing paper, beautiful ladies, lots of room for journaling, some stamping, some vintage sheet music, a little tuck spot, tiny tag, extra space for journaling, one of these Edith Holden book page tags with the vintage laces, the fussy cut flowers, and this beautiful silk chiffon tag topper. Goes into a pocket that I've used a lace edge die. My travel book with a Belgian page, a vintage Bible book page, beautiful applique from Susie in that gorgeous grape purple, antique French lace, and here I've got one of the vintage wallpaper tags that I have used the antique sand paste, which is texture paste, and a stencil, and just used it in the opera mauve color. Beautiful colored tag topper from Sheila, her textile packages. Here I've used one of the pieces of ephemera and just stuck a strip of book page in here. I could cut it shorter, I guess. It's just, you could use it as a bookmark, whatever you would like to do. I just thought it added interest to the page. Here's the center of our signature. Beautiful, beautiful ladies, and these gorgeous beads. I just love them. These are probably a good 3 inches long, the beading part of the tassel at the bottom. Some extra pieces of paper, embossed paper, the Stamperia paper. This is Anna Griffin paper that I've used here, the stripe. Another one of these sand paste textured vintage wallpaper tags with a lovely, lovely chiffon topper. And just made a little tuck spot here. Antique French lace. You can use this as a tuck spot. Some beautiful stenciling. A little tuck spot from the Bella kit over top of the French lavender kit. And I've just tucked some small journaling cards into the pocket here. Got some vintage Bible book page, vintage travel book page, one of the lavender tags that I have decoupaged, some vintage lace that I've tea dyed, and then run the marine or royal blue crinkled seam binding through onto this vintage sheet music. More journaling space, lined journaling space with stamping, beautiful images, tea dyed tracing paper, a vintage handkerchief on the right hand side, and I've sewed it onto the page. This has your little pocket with the vintage white lace and a griffin paper, both top and bottom, of course. And the tabs are made from a set, a die cut set, a die set that I have from Heartfelt Creations. Another tag from this set, and the back side of the veiled lace page. Love this beautiful rosette trim, and the crinkled seam binding is just so feminine and romantic. Some vintage French grammar book page, little tuck spot with some lilacs and an ephemera card. And then this has some of Sheila's beautiful royal blue velvet with some of her gold bling, some stamping, some of the periwinkle lace flip up. You can do whatever you want with that page. And then we've got the flip side here, another tag made out of Anna Griffin paper, topped with some of Sheila's chiffon silk, silk chiffon, and her bling trim, and my purple file folder. You can see that it's a file folder. I've got a couple of pieces of ephemera here attached, and this is a little tiny tuck spot too. You could always tuck a secret note into there for extra journaling space. I love it when the fabric and the textiles extend over the top or out of the sides or even the bottom. But I tend to do more the top and the sides because we like to stand our journals upright when we display them or use them. This gorgeous mulberry lace, mulberry colored dyed lace, a sweet little flower fairy, little flower girl tag, a hydrangea stamp on this flap page, one more of the tags that I've made, the horizontal tags. This one is Sweet Violet, book page from Edith Holden, some crinkled seam binding, and some vintage buttons backed onto the Stamperia paper in lilac, and the navy lace at the top of that tuck spot. Beautiful pocket here with some insert lace. I've got a tag, small tag, and a sweet envelope from the French Lavender collection with one of Lorna's stamps. I used the same stamp for all of the envelopes that I did for these. It says Versailles, Chateau de Versailles. I just thought that went well with the theme. And then we've got our tall tag here, one of the last butterfly paper doll girls from the Victorian Ladies collection, decoupaged onto mixed media paper. And I've got one of Sheila's pieces of embellished trim on this page, as I've always loved this one. I've used it, part of it before in another journal. I love it when it hangs over the side. I feel that does it justice. Some vintage sheet music. One little pocket with some ruffled vintage lace and a vintage applique. Some more bluebells, fussy cut flowers, and a small tag from the Stamperia Lilac collection. And on our last page, we've got some beautiful colored lace, my logo, Vintage Elegance Inspiration. And I do love this image of these beautiful girls in their beautiful gowns. A card for the recipient who becomes the new owner for this journal, and this beautiful Alan Kahn lace. And then in the back side, we've got our pocket and our paper dolls. And the beads are stuck. There we go. Just a small, tall, skinny booklet made with leftover bits and our paper dolls. And that's it for Wisteria. So very beautiful. I have really, really enjoyed creating these lovely journals, and I hope that you've enjoyed watching them, the videos, and seeing what I've done with them. Thank you for following me along the way. If you follow me on Instagram and Facebook, you would have seen my progress posts and my sneak peeks. So they're all done and they are ready for their new homes. So thanks again for watching, and I hope we will talk to you again soon. Have a great day.